Do you want to know the best neighborhoods in Brantford to live in? In this video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 neighborhoods right here in Brantford, voted by the people who are buying and selling houses. Maybe you're considering moving to Brantford and you don't really know the different areas, or maybe you live here and you're watching this video wondering where your neighborhood ranks. Either way, I'm going to break down the information in the next few minutes. Now, Brantford geographically is broken down into 9 main residential areas, but those areas are further broken down into 60 distinct neighborhoods. For a complete report on the whole city, where every one of these neighborhoods ranks in terms of desirability, prices, supply and demand, check out the link in the video description below. I put a full Brantford-wide neighborhood report together every 3 months to give you the information you need to make a smart decision. My name is Jeff Thibodeau. I'm a real estate broker, and I've been helping people just like you buy and sell their homes here in Brantford for over 15 years. And I've lived here my entire life, so I've got the information you need when it comes to figuring out which neighborhood is going to be a match for you. If you need any help with your next real estate transaction, you can reach out to me directly with all my contact information in the video description below. And before we get into the top 5 neighborhoods in Brantford, if you're here, please take a second and hit that like button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps me out and it encourages me to continue making videos like these. And if you're enjoying videos like these, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell, because I am posting new content every single week, market analysis, neighborhood insights, and even tours of homes that are on the market right now. So let's get right into the top 5 neighborhoods here in Brantford, Ontario. Now, the first question we have to ask ourselves is, how do we even determine what makes something a top neighborhood? And I wanted to make this video more analytical than opinion-based, because we all have our opinions. Now, I'm curious, if you could leave me a comment, what types of features and amenities are you looking for in a neighborhood that you'd want to live in? For the rankings in this video specifically, we're not going to use my opinion at all. I'm going to use the collective opinions of all the home buyers and sellers here in Brantford. So what I've done is I've gone back over the past 12 months and pulled the total number of new listings on the market, plus the total number of sales in every single neighborhood in Brantford. And when we compare these two numbers together, we can get a sold rate. And we're going to use this number to determine which are the best neighborhoods in Brantford. Because we have to assume that in the best neighborhoods of Brantford, we've got the most number of people trying to move into those neighborhoods. But once those people are there, they don't want to leave. So we have a fewer number of homes for sale. Let's really quickly look at the big map and the big 9 zones. And you can see that the North End neighborhoods dominate the rankings here with numbers like 70, 62, and 70 across the north end of the city. These are established residential neighborhoods with great highway access, nice mature neighborhoods. A lot of people want to live here. You've also got high rankings in the central area known as Terrace Hill and down to the southeast in Eagle Place. And I believe what's primarily driving these numbers up is the affordability. These are great neighborhoods to get into the housing market while still having a quality neighborhood. And then we've got some areas that are coming in a little bit lower on the neighborhood rankings. And these neighborhoods tend to have a lot of homes. They're great neighborhoods, but maybe there's just a whole lot more supply than there is demand. Now, this is a very high level view because inside of these big areas, we have very different neighborhoods. So what we're going to do in this video is take the top 5 and break down exactly what's going on in those neighborhoods. Now, remember, there's over 60 different neighborhoods. So there's 55 neighborhoods we're not going to get into today. If you want to see where your neighborhood ranks or the neighborhood you might be thinking about buying in, get that full report that's available right there on my website. And of course, feel free to reach out to me with your questions or drop a question right here in the comments. Okay, coming in at number 5, we have the neighborhood known as North Park and Wood Street. This neighborhood ranked at a 77% sold rate over the last 12 months, which is very high. This neighborhood is centrally located right in the middle of the city, just below the 403 and bordered by West Street and King George Road. So you're really central, close to everything. You've got highway access, you got the commercial areas, you're a short drive to downtown. It really is a great location. This neighborhood actually ranks as one of my hidden gems because it is very close to those North End neighborhoods, but it's not quite as expensive. So it's a great way to get into the housing market in a very quality, centrally located neighborhood. Now here, the homes sold over the last 12 months ranged from starting at about $426,000 for a detached home and all the way up to $659,000. So a very affordable neighborhood. One thing to know about this area is the homes range in age too. There are some parts of the neighborhood that go back to the 1950s in original construction, and then they were still filling in areas of this neighborhood right up until the 1980s. So quite a variety of homes. If you look on this next slide, I'll show you, these are actual sales that have happened in the past 12 months. And I tried to pick some variety of listings to show you. Here on the low side, you can see a smaller single level starter home that was available in this neighborhood for that low end price range. In the mid range, it is an older home, but in nice condition, a nice 2-story white siding home. It was really well kept. And then up on the higher end of the range, we actually have an infill, a newer construction home with a lot of the amenities you would expect. So a nice variety of homes available in the number 5 neighborhood, North Park and Wood Street. Coming in at number 4, a North End neighborhood called Lynden Hills, which is on the far east side of the city. It borders on the eastern edge of the town, but in the northeast corner. It's kind of got a sister neighborhood with Brantford Park that make up that area. So this is the bottom half of that area, right along Lynden Road, right bordering the Lynden Park Mall and all the nice commercial areas right there. You've got easy highway access out onto the Garden Ave interchange or onto the Gretzky Parkway interchange. So this neighborhood has been very popular for a long time. Consistently has higher demand in it than it does supply. So this is a great place to put your roots down and potentially a great place for future real estate investment. These homes were built between the 80s and 90s. This neighborhood was developed, so you're going to see a pretty narrow range of age of homes, and you can expect a wider range of prices. On the entry level here in this neighborhood, people were able to get a property in the last 12 months for $480,000, and the properties have ranged all the way up to $885,000. Let's take a look at some of those properties. Here you can see on the lower end of the range, we have a condo townhouse style development. This one is a nice little area right off of Gretzky Parkway. In the mid price range, you're getting a little nicer detached home. You've got a garage, brick finishes, a nice bungalow style. And then moving up to the higher end price range, you're obviously getting a little more square footage. This was a nice cul-de-sac with a wide lot and a 2-car garage. So there's a lot of variety of homes here. And this neighborhood really appeals to people, especially if they're commuting eastbound. You've got incredible access right onto the highway in just a couple minutes. Okay, coming in tied for number 2. So we have a tie for spot number 2 and 3. St. Andrews is a very interesting neighborhood. I wasn't expecting it to pop up on these rankings because it is a little bit of a niche neighborhood. Very high-end homes surrounding the Brantford Golf and Country Club. Now, this property didn't have a lot of activity, but the homes that did come up for sale, they all sold. This is a type of area where they're very exclusive homes, people that want to be close to those higher-end amenities, like the river trails, like the country club, like the art gallery at Glenhurst. People want to be over here. It's a status neighborhood, and there were options to get into the neighborhood as low as $625,000. We'll show you that in a minute. But prices do range up into the millions for estate level homes, and these rarely change hands. When they do come on the market, kind of everybody in the real estate community notices it, and we wait and watch and see who's going to be the new person to buy one of these estate homes. It's a very small area, and I encourage you to take a drive through there. It's also very close to our trail systems and bordering right on the river. Now, this area was built up around the 1990s into the 2000s, and then it's kind of been full since then. And there has been a little bit of a new subdivision added a little bit further down the road where they've tucked in a small subdivision right by the river. So we'll keep our eye on that. I'll show you on the next slide. Here at the low end, it was a condo that was getting in at the entry-level price point in this neighborhood. And as we move up to the mid-level, you're getting a nice family-sized home. It's not exactly in right tucked away. It's out on the main street. And then you can see on the high end, you're getting these large estate-level homes. You got this triple-car garage. You can barely see most of the home here, but there's big, wide lots. It's a really, private, quiet neighborhood. So St. Andrews jumping in here on the top 5 places to live in Brantford, if you've got the money. And tied again here for second and third place is the northwest neighborhood of Myrtleville North. And so while we saw St. Andrews was bordering the private golf and country club, Myrtleville North here is tucked in beside the public municipal Walter Gretzky golf course. This neighborhood was built up throughout the 70s and all the way through to the 90s, depending on what part of the neighborhood you're in. 83% of the homes that were put up for sale in the last 12 months were sold. So a very highly desirable area with prices ranging all the way from $550,000 up to $880,000. Again, you can see how this neighborhood is tucked right in up against the highway, which makes it highly desirable. As we take a look at the homes that were available in Myrtleville North, you can see a nice variety of family-sized homes. On the low end, you've got a semi-detached home, so you're sharing one wall with a neighbor, and it's a carport here. Then moving up to the mid-price point in Myrtleville North, you got a nice raised ranch with a garage, a nice spacious backyard. And into the higher end of the price point, we had a fully renovated home on a ravine walkout lot. So that means you got all that extra square footage in the basement. This was a professional renovation, and it was tucked right away at the edge of the neighborhood. Really nice property. So a wide variety of homes in a very desirable area. Okay, as we roll into our final number one, I'm curious, any guesses? Leave me a comment. What do you think the number one neighborhood would be? Or what's your number one neighborhood? I want to hear everyone's opinions because I think that matters too, just beyond the data. But let's see what the data has been for the last 12 months. And with an astonishing 100% sold rate, it's the neighborhood right beside Myrtleville North called Northridge. And this neighborhood actually tucks in right around the golf course. It's called Northridge because the golf course used to be called Northridge, which is now renamed to Walter Gretzky Municipal Golf Course. But you can see there was a 100% sold rate. So everybody that put their home up for sale sold. So this is a very highly desirable neighborhood. Buyers are waiting for homes to come up in this neighborhood, and the homes don't come up that often. There's been construction. These homes were built between the 70s and the 90s in different little pockets. And you can see the price range here from $570,000 up to $1.2 million. There are some very nice homes tucked away in these areas. As we take a look at some of the examples that have sold, here at the entry point in the Northridge neighborhood, we've got a semi-detached home that you can get into here. This was the one, I believe, that was at $570,000. Into the mid-level of this neighborhood, you see a very typical representation of this nice home here. It's a bungalow style, really nice finishes, 2-car garage, really nice landscaping. And then over into the higher end, we got some really nice executive level homes in this neighborhood that were tucked in that later age of the 90s construction. And then people really like these homes, and they've done really well in terms of holding their value. So that is our top 5 neighborhoods for Brantford based on the buying and the selling. And I'm curious, what did you think about these? Were there any surprises? I was a little bit surprised by seeing St. Andrews in there, but not at all surprised by seeing those North End neighborhoods over my whole career. Those Northwest and Northeast neighborhoods, they've been highly desirable, and we've always seen they have an imbalance of supply and demand. And I was kind of pleased and surprised to see the North Park Street, Wood Street area pop up on the list, because it's always one of my hidden gems when I'm bringing new buyers into Brantford who are looking for affordability or to get a quality neighborhood at a great price. So leave me a comment, let me know. Please take a second, if you've made it this far, to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be breaking down all kinds of other interesting statistics about Brantford. Coming up, we're going to be talking about the most affordable areas, where you can get the best dollar per square foot, and all kinds of things like that. So hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. And please, if you made it this far, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really helps my videos out and encourages me to keep creating more content like this. Thanks for being with me today, and check out this next video. YouTube thinks you're going to really enjoy it.